There have been some slight bumps in the road for NCIS Sydney in its first 2 seasons, but one story change could rectify a major character problem. NCIS Sydney Season 2 helped put things on the right track with bigger storylines and higher stakes. But the NCIS Sydney Season 2 finale was a firm reminder of what still needs fixing. Although its characters have plenty of charm, NCIS Sydney doesn't seem to have connected with viewers on a personal level as well as other series in the franchise. Thanks to one major story plan, NCIS Sydney Season 3 might finally be able to change that. And one character could use the boost more than nearly any other on the show. Colonel Rankin's NCIS Sydney redemption doesn't make him fully trustworthy. Even the series showrunner has doubts about him. Louis Fitzgerald as Colonel Rankin in NCIS Sydney. Most viewers likely wouldn't name Richard Rankin as one of NCIS Sydney's best characters. His motivations have often been difficult to assess, to the point that Colonel Rankin appeared to be a possible antagonist for much of the first 2 seasons. But when risen from his coma in the Season 2 finale, he proves his allegiance to the good guys. Rankin's intel plays a vital role in helping the NCIS and AFP track down a stolen Stinger missile before it can be detonated, and it's furthermore shown exactly how he was blackmailed into working with terrorists. But Rankin's past attempts to interfere with NCIS investigations still make him hard to trust. Showrunner Morgan O'Neill tells TV Line this isn't entirely accidental. O'Neill does appear to concede that Colonel Rankin is about 90% good guy by the end of the Season 2 finale. But that doesn't change the fact that, as early as NCIS Sydney Episode 3, Michelle had to blackmail Rankin with evidence of CIA espionage to halt his interference with their case. Sadly, Rankin's shadiness is his only notable hook. NCIS Sydney struggled to keep Rankin's storyline interesting for 2 seasons. The spin-off's pacing in general hasn't been the best. Louis Fitzgerald as Colonel Rankin in NCIS Sydney. It isn't necessarily a problem in and of itself that Rankin has yet to earn the audience's full trust. Plenty of fantastic NCIS franchise spin-off characters have seemed untrustworthy before, but that can only be fun insofar as the audience is able to see the character participate in their own story. Colonel Rankin, however, suffers rather thoroughly in that regard. Richard Rankin's first few appearances are incredibly interesting, but it's not until the end of NCIS Sydney Season 1 that Rankin truly appears as if he might be a primary villain. He then spends the bulk of Season 2 in a coma, while the NCIS AFP task force only occasionally finds evidence relevant to his storyline. Fortunately, that can now change. NCIS Sydney 3's story plan can provide deeper insights into Rankin's character. The series can shed light on where his true interests lie. Looking at the story plan for NCIS Sydney Season 3, it appears the flagship is already set to boost interest in virtually all of its characters, and the series won't need anything particularly flashy like an NCIS Sydney crossover to pull it off. Speaking with TV Insider, showrunner Morgan O'Neill claims Season 3 will focus on the characters' problematic histories, explaining, in context, O'Neill is largely referring to Blue and the mysterious woman in her house at the end of NCIS Sydney Season 2. However, he also broadens this concept to include the other main characters as well. This could lead to some of the best episodes of NCIS Sydney, and Rankin's backstory could provide valuable insight into his character's motivations. Regardless of whether this makes Colonel Richard Rankin more trustworthy, it will at least add depth to his character that would make his role in NCIS Sydney significantly more interesting. His character has certainly never lacked incredible story potential. It's simply time for Season 3 to begin working a lot more stridently to unlock that potential to its absolute fullest.